Welcome to Wolf Tracks. I'm Jessica Larson.
And I'm Keaton Kovac.
Today we have stories about a place you can legally smash other people's cars.
A student at South who can do magic.
A sport boys here in South Kitsap are trying to revive, and much more.
That you're done with your dinner, sitting back in your favorite reclining chair. Time for the greatest show on earth. It's Wolf Tracks. It's Wolf Tracks. It's Wolf Tracks. It's Wolf Tracks. It's Wolf Tracks.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head?
It may seem strange that the photography class here at South Kitsap is actually one of, if not the most sought after class. There are 3 branches of photography that is taught: beginning, advanced, and Photoshop. Photography also has 2 ways of taking pictures for the classes: the old school black and white film or the modern age digital. Why would kids who live in a fast-growing technological world use black and white?
I'm kind of a half and half person because the process is so long, like to develop film, because you got to put it through the fixer and all the chemicals and take it to the dark room to put your pictures on paper and then develop it. So it takes like 4 days just to develop your pictures, and then if you're using a digital, you could just take it to the store and they'll print them out right there for you. So I'm kind of half and half. It's new to me, so I hope it becomes a lot of fun.
I do love film. I mean, I grew up in the 90s when there were film. That's all they had was film. So I've always, had a slight preference to film, but I do love digital just because it's so nifty. So I'm kind of half and half.
Well, in looking at why the class is so popular, I think one of the things is because we still work in the dark room. We still use black and white film. We still use a process that's been around since for the last 175 years. And I think that's part of it, and it's part of learning from the past and the present and the future. It also is an art credit, and it also is a way to learn when you're doing digitally. You learn from the black and white in beginning class. So as the students go on to advanced and commercial, they'll have the opportunity to know why they're getting the pictures they're getting. So I think there's a process here that's important.
For many, taking pictures is the best part, but for others, it is developing. For every individual, it is different. Some people prefer developing, others taking pictures, and some the total outcome of capturing art.
I took it because it sounded pretty interesting and I wanted to learn how to develop films and make my own pictures.
I took it, actually I've been trying to take it since I was a sophomore, but I was never able to get in. But so finally my senior year I got in, and I'm really excited. I've just always been interested in photography.
I wanted to take photography because I have no arts credits to graduate, and my cousin was really good in photography, and she's a really good artist, and she kind of gave me the bump and told me to take it. That is a really fun class, and I thought it'd be exciting to go take pictures of things outside of school, since you could take the cameras home on weekends and stuff, and you get to develop and keep your own pictures.
Photography is exciting and everyone can do it. Check out the photography class if you can, but if you can't, you can always check out Photo Club on Wednesdays from 2 to 4.
Seeing how there are thousands of students here in the halls of South Kitsap High School, you may or may not know who this person is. If you don't know him, his name is Josh Schultz. He is interested in many things, such as magic, music, and making his own videos.
Let's get straight to the point.
One of Josh's hobbies is doing magic tricks for an unsuspecting audience. As you can see, one of his favorite tricks is making a bottle disappear under a plastic bag.
My favorite trick would have to be when you pull your finger off and then you magically put it back together. I shall demonstrate.
So who is Josh's idol when it comes to magic?
I idolize Eric Weiss because he was one of the best magicians ever. Stage name was Houdini, and he was born in Budapest, Hungary. He was the man.
Along with magic, Josh is also an avid musician. He plays 3 instruments: the drums, the guitar, and the piano.
I've been playing the piano for about 5 years. I've been playing the guitar for about 2 years, and I've been playing the drums for about 5 years.
Josh knows many songs on the piano, including the Pokemon theme and Dragon Force's Through the Fire and Flames. At last year's talent show, his various songs on the piano made him a crowd favorite. When Josh isn't doing magic or playing music, he likes to make videos with his friends. He has made several videos, all with different kinds of plots and kinds of genres.
My all-time favorite video is, we filmed it about 2 years ago. My friend Joe Seymour, he was coming down the sidewalk on a Razor scooter, and Matt Babcock comes out of nowhere and pushes him into the grass knowingly, and then the scooter accidentally caught on Joe's leg, swung around, and hit him in the back of the thigh, and Matt was laughing so hard he cried.
There are many other videos, including the epic burrito slap and the Mr. Shackler video, which are also some of Josh's favorites. In all, Josh's skills in magic, music, and video production make him a one-of-a-kind. So what's in the future for him?
I want to be a professional prestidigitator, which is just a fancy word for magician.
Now that you know more about Josh Schultz, you come to find that he truly is a really interesting person.
With all these activities at South, there has to be something to showcase our sports and events, which is why we hold Pep Assemblies.
South Kitsap High School's ASB puts together mini Pep Assemblies throughout the year. On Friday, September 5th, they held their first assembly for this year's fall season. So what exactly would this assembly hold in store for us?
That is classified information. I cannot tell you that. You're going to have to wait.
And so they went on to begin the assembly with much liveliness and a top-secret agenda that even we weren't informed of. As everyone gathered into the vast expanse of wooden bleachers, the cheerleaders did what they do best: cheer. To much surprise of the crowd, Gunther Hamill kicked off the assembly. But last year's ASB president didn't last long, as Mark Horn was there to clear up the confusion and confront Gunther. Then the honest 2008 through 2009 ASB stepped forward to correct Gunther's mistake, but not before a Charlie's Angels-esque act was played out to entertain the crowd. Despite some small technical difficulties, the short play was a hit. As the assembly progressed, each fall sport, as well as the cheer and dance teams, got their chance to introduce themselves to the school and provide a little example of what their sport does in order to raise spirit and support for their competitions. Volleyball asked students to try a pancake, a defensive move to keep the ball from touching the ground. Cross country wrapped their coaches in saran wrap, then had them race across the gym. After all of the events, Mr. Segerson closed the assembly by telling the students how to dress and act at the football game that night.
We need some pride in school. We need people not to worry about how they look and how people are going to look at them, but we need people to be kind of sold out for their school, just like these young ladies and men.
And ensuring no absence of school pride or spirit, the students were left to go home and ready themselves for the big game. Was the assembly successful?
I think it went well. We had a little mess-ups with the music here and there, but you can't have a perfect assembly, even with a rehearsal, so we'll see how it goes.
We will leave that up to you to decide.
Living in the Puget Sound area makes public transportation that much more convenient.
If you live in Western Washington, chances are you've been on one of these. But what really goes on in a ferry?
My name's David Cole.
How long have you been working for the ferry system?
24 years.
We took a deeper look into the ferries we've all seen and asked a boat captain, what goes on in your day?
Make sure I have enough sleep and I'm fit for work, and my crew's up to snuff on all their drills and they know what they're doing and what's going on.
To keep a boat of such massive size running smoothly, A number of tasks and exercises must be conducted before departure.
Duties would be safe navigation of the boats, making sure the quartermaster, Chris, is going where he's supposed to go for the different docks, different headings I give him. Daily duties of the crew, making sure they're performing their duties and everything. The engine room is working properly and everything's safe down below. And that's pretty much it on a daily basis. And the security's all good. Terrorists or whatever it might be, or someone taking pictures on board the boat. If we see people taking pictures, we ask them questions. If they look suspicious, we contact the Ops Center or the Washington State Patrol, and they will be on the dock waiting for them, or the U.S. Coast Guard.
As one can imagine, ferries need some fairly tight security. With the increased threat levels on our country, some pretty intense measures are taken to keep each boat ride safe.
Yeah, with all the security that's on the boats now, and you can pan around and see the cage over here.
I'll get it later.
Okay, there's a cage, there's cameras throughout the boat now. They've done a lot of stuff to improve the safety with the Washington State Patrol, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the military are all have a joint task force that oversees a lot of stuff that goes on the boats.
Day after day, people use the ferry system as a convenience or even a luxury, while the boat captains and their crews are working hard behind the scenes to make sure it all goes smoothly.
Many of the exchange students at South play on the tennis team. Take a look.
Welcome to the 2008-2009 boys tennis team. Sure, we always have a great team, but this year we have a few students that, well, we haven't seen before.
Hello everybody. This is Shedli Dwebi from Tunisia in Africa.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Justus and I'm from Germany.
Hi, my name is Egwin. I'm from Belgium.
That's right, foreign exchange students. First off, we have Shedli from Tunisia, a small country in North Africa that you may have never heard of. As for his tennis skills,
this is my first time in tennis.
There's nothing to worry about, teammate Kelton Peterson insists.
Shedli, he's definitely doing good. He's learning a lot. He's working on his way to the top, and he's a really good tennis player.
His improvement might be due to the team as well.
They're helpful. I don't know. They're good.
Next we have Eustace from Germany, and he is similar to Shedli in a few ways.
This is my first time I've ever played.
However, he seems to be having fun as he describes tennis as...
It's hard, but it's fun.
And as for his teammates, he finds everyone as a great help. Then there's always the connection between the exchange students.
Shedli is very, very great and crazy.
And last but definitely not least, there's Egwin from Belgium. Unlike Shedli and Eustace, he has played tennis before. This immediately made everyone curious as to some of the differences of the game between America and Europe.
There's a difference in the way we practice it, but that's it.
So does that mean that American tennis is better? Well, maybe.
I prefer the way we do it here.
The boys tennis team practices every day that they don't have a match, which is helping the boys improve at a rapid rate. And while they are learning about tennis, they also get to teach a bit as well.
Well, it's a lot of fun because we get to ask them questions about where they're from, and it's just fun getting the experience of all different cultures.
So if you get a chance this year, before tennis is over, keep an eye on the schedule of events and come watch Shedli, Eustace, and Egwin play for the South Kitsap boys tennis team. In Silverdale, many car enthusiasts participate in Destruction Derby, where you can smash other people's cars.
So, where am I allowed to hit other drivers?
You can hit anybody anywhere you want as long as it's
not their driver's door, and as long as you're traveling in the direction of the race.
Now, you may be asking yourself, well, what if I get hurt or catch on fire? Well, it's just kind of the risk of the sport.
You always get stiff and sore in racing. You know, as for major injuries, they happen. It's part of the trade. Happen on a regular basis. You just kind of hope it's not your night. The hardest hit that I've ever endured was during a figure 8 race last season. I got caught in the crossfire and knocked unconscious. My belts broke, knocked me against the passenger floorboard of my car.
If you're the type of person who likes going fast, crashing into other people, and don't mind the risk of injury, then come out for D-Derby.
Some people believe that teenagers driving can be just as dangerous as the drivers in the last story.
Sweet 16, an amazing birthday for everyone. One finally becomes an official teenager. However, along with later curfews and more freedom, there's more responsibility. Getting your license. Of course, everyone wants to be independent and drive wherever they want to, but now, with a big number of crashes, an issue is raised about changing the driver's age from 16 to 18. Looking at numbers, people ages 15 to 24 represent 14% of the U.S. population, but they represent 30% of the total cause of motor vehicle injuries among males and 28% among females. A lot of people get annoyed with the way teens act behind the wheel on the road. Here's Donnie Francis with his opinions.
I think that age should be changed to teen drivers because the way teens are nowadays are not being brought up to follow rules or respect the elder or the laws or the rights of the road, and too often they're either trying to literally run you off the road, pass you illegally, cut you off, racing. Every day I run into problems. But right now, the way they're driving on the streets and carrying on, no, it's no good.
Looking at parents' reasoning, some definitely think it makes sense for the age to be changed. However, here's a real teen driver and what she has to say.
If the driver's age is changed to 18, teenagers won't have to go to driver's ed. They won't have the knowledge that they do now, and so they won't have the intermediate license where they just drive by themselves. They're now able to just get in the car, get their friends, and go do whatever they want to do.
Clearly and unsurprisingly, the issue is split down the center between teens and their folks. But the real answer lies with someone with the facts. We spoke with a professional driving instructor, Joseph Ring, for his unique perspective.
It's not necessarily an age factor because all kids mature at different levels. It's more of a individual student basis. Yes, driver's ed helps them. It teaches them the basics of driving. It gives them a good, starting point. They also need their parents to be involved, because if their parents don't get involved and their parents don't step in and watch over how they're driving and what they're doing and correct those things that they're not doing correctly, then you can run into some issues.
There are many thoughts and ideas about the teen driving age. This hot-button topic is sure to continue on for quite some time. Those of us directly affected with it have to patiently wait and see.
In our last story, here's a sport that many kids are trying to bring back to life.
You may have seen this before, mostly done by young children, but we're here to take it to the next level.
Now for about 6 years, off and on, you know. It's a pretty gnarly sport.
I'm scootering about 2 years. Probably like my whole life. Give or take 17 years. Nobody else does it. I don't know if that's because it's uncool or just because it's so hard nobody else can do it.
Blueprints for the scooter have been brought in as early as 1921. These blueprints have slowly developed into what is now a Razor scooter.
My scooter choice is the Cobra. It's got the ABEC 3, the power bearing.
My favorite type of scooter is the Razor, like this one right here. It's got like custom shocks in it. It's got this nice little wheelie bar.
Green wheels and the green matching grip tape.
The only thing you can ride is a Razor.
Cobra handles.
I roll on a Razor.
They named it the Cobra just because it's stealthy, you know, and it just bites.
These new scooters, people have developed tricks and stunts.
Trick is the big tail whip. I like going downstairs and stuff too.
My favorite trick has got to be the tail whip. Basically what you do is when you ollie, you throw that bottom platform around and then you catch it back on your feet.
Favorite trick's the back plant. It's when you jump off the scooter with your back foot and then jump back on.
Scootering has become increasingly popular and has been featured in the Planet X games.
Well, thank you for joining us for Wolf Tracks. I'm Jessica Larson.
And I'm Keaton Kovac.
That you're done with your dinner, sitting back in your favorite reclining chair. Time for the greatest show on earth. It's Wolf Tracks. It's Wolf Tracks. It's Wolf Tracks. It's Wolf Tracks.